Okay, let's take a look at some of the things you might want to do on your next one. This will be for a civil project. This is just to get started, and it's good for this week. It's not the end result, but you'll see that, remember, I did an export earlier where my building doesn't show up. So here it is with my building, and I've done a little bit of work on to make a swale in the back so that any runoff going toward the stream gets trapped by the swale coming down this way. But now I want to make a parking lot. So let's see how to do that. Okay, I'm going to make my parking lot go here, back to here, over to here. I see it's not flat back here, so I need to make it flat back here for me to work with. I'm going to do that from my level 3 site plan. Here I've got, this is my 26. This is a little lower and a little lower. So I want something at 26 feet all along here. Okay, so let's see how to do that. The easiest way is to first make this area flat. So I select my topography, and I'm going to modify some sub-elements, and I want all of these ones to also be at 26. And I'm going to do that again so I catch this one. All of these ones I also want to be at 26 feet. 26 feet. And it's got to be the actual elevation from the base. Let's see if I can get that to stay 26 feet. So those are now all 26 feet. I could also, maybe just to give myself a little extra room, do these ones, but I think I'm going to add some points, absolute, at 26 feet. So I'm sort of locking in along this line that it's going to be 26 feet along there. So now all of this nice flat area is at 26 feet. So that's the first thing. And now you can see how nice that looks. It's all kind of flat, and I can put a parking lot in here. Now, there's complex ways to do parking lots, and then there's an easy visual way to do parking lots. And we're going to do the easy visual way. We're going to put in a floor. And so let me just figure out what level things are at. This wall is on level 3. Okay, and level 3 is at 26.5 feet. Okay, and this is at 26. So actually, I might want all of that to be a little bit lower than this wall. Remember, my wall is at 26 feet 6 inches. So if my parking lot is 6 inches below that, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's think about how to do that. Here I am back on level 3. Well, then all of these elements will probably want to be at 25.5 or 25.75 so that I have a little bit sticking up there. So 25.75. And this one needs to also be at 25.75. And what's this one doing? That one looks okay. I might want to put a little line of those along here. So let's add some points at 25.75 feet. And let's put a line of points so that I'm really showing we go, and I'll delete that dimension. So now I've got this area, and it's at 25.75. I see one more spot here that looks a little bit odd. Looks okay. Actually, what are these ones at? These are at These, I think I'm gonna drop a couple extra ones. Just, I'll leave it like that. Okay, now I can put in a floor. So here's my architectural floor. It's going to be level 3, but I want it just a little bit below. I want it at 26 feet. So I'm going to go minus 0.5 feet. It's going to be a little bit above this, but a little bit below this. Okay, so now I can just start drawing it in there. And I'm going to get up close over here. And how wide should this be? Wide enough for 2 cars, at least 20 foot, probably more like 30 foot. And how big should it be back here? If I go to here, then a parking lot is about 20 feet long. So I'd want to go 40 feet if I can, somewhere close to 40 feet. Car plus a little bit more. And I don't want to go quite to the line. And I'm going to move that over a little bit. And then what I can do is I can make a corner out of this one and this one. And then I know everything lines up. So there we go. I've got a parking lot that's level. Shouldn't actually be level, but this is a concept. And it's wide enough for a few cars here, back here. And of course, I don't have a lot of parking places, but I have enough for somebody to drive in, come over here, and then park. Okay, so I'll make my green check mark. And let's see how it looks when I go to 3D. There I go. I've got a parking lot. How cool is that? Now, I might want a berm around that. So let's see what my elevation of that actually ends up being. I'm just going to be really careful. It's at 26 feet. So if I wanted to put like a little berm around it, that I could make as a wall. And that's also then going to be minus 0.5. Let's try that again. It's going to be a wall. And I'm going to want, say, a little 6-inch regular wall at minus 0.5. And then I can kind of like pick a line. I can go like, the base, and that's going to put it kind of right on top. And how tall will I want it? Maybe 4 inches, so 0.333 feet. Not very tall. And I'm going to pick this line. No, it's got to be more than that. It's got to come up, at least so that I can see it. So I'll come up 1 foot. And let's pick this line and this line and this line and this line. There we go. So I got a little berm around it. Let's see what that looks like now. And that way I can make sure that the water flows in this direction. This is probably got to give myself a little bit. I'm going to go to my top view there. This one probably should give a little bit of a gap so that water can flow out onto this lower area and then flow naturally in this direction. Same here, it will flow naturally in this direction. Okay, so that's how you can put in a parking lot, and it's pretty simple, and that's what you can do for this week. If you're doing landscaping, you can put in a swale. Basically, if you look and see what I've done, I've put in a bunch of points here, a little bit lower, that make a ditch so that anything flowing this way goes into the ditch and then follows over to my retention pond. So all of these points are higher than these points. So that's another thing that you could do if you're doing landscaping. Let's see what we can do if we're going to make a one of the things we can do is for exterior architecture, very quickly we can make this a 2-story building. I'm going to click my roof and say instead of a 10-foot offset, I'd like a 20-foot offset. And look, the walls went with it because I had attached the walls. So that's how quickly you can get a 2-story. Of course, there's still things to do. You know, I need to put in windows and doors and probably need to put in a stair somewhere. And I can show you how to do that in lab. But if you get at least this far, you are getting a good start to the project. All right, so there's some civil, some architectural, some landscaping. For those of you doing interior design, I'll show you that one in a separate video.